Hey guys, it's Laura here, Laura O'Hagan. How are you? Look a bit lopsided, is that right? Happy Friday. What are you guys up to today? I would love to hear what you're up to, what you're doing, how your week's been. I know many of you catch the replay, so if you do, well, if you are here on the replay, say hi. And as you join, say hi as well. Say hi as you hop on. I have been chatting. Hey, Lai. Is it Lai? Is that how you pronounce it? I would love to know if that's right. I've been chatting this week about some things that I really see happening in terms of content and really creating content that converts your people, your audience, into people who book discovery calls and people who are already a yes in their mind before they've even booked their call. Hey, it's beautiful to see you. Sounds like Lee. Okay, so you just say, Lee, beautiful. Thank you so much for letting me know that. So the things that really help you convert your clients, that help your people make that decision before they've even booked the call, is it comes through in your content. And one of the really big things is the way that you message. So it's your messaging and the way that you show people that you already really understand exactly what's going on for them. So what I want to share with you today is a bit of a story about some of my experience in the past. So I've been coaching for coming up to like 3.5, 4 years now, and I've had various sort of stages in my journey, being a mum and having kids, and having different niches and things. And so I've really come to understand a thing or two about how to really connect with your people and how to really nail your messaging, so people are already wanting to work with you before they've ever even had a discussion with you. That is how you convert people through your content. And to me, it comes down to messaging and mindset. Today, I really want to hone in on the messaging part of it, because I think we've chatted about mindset quite a bit recently. And I know in the early stages of your business, your niching, your messaging, your ideal client work, it's key. It's key to really getting things happening in your business. If you're not a person who's doing like networking and face-to-face sort of discussions with people and growing your business that way, you're using online, then this is really crucial. So I want to share it with you today. And I want to share with you, I just do have some notes to keep myself on track. So, and if you have questions, Lee, as we're chatting, feel free to drop them in. It sounds like you're doing amazing things this month in your business, which is so exciting. So where do I start? I have been a business coach, and then I moved out of business coaching. When I did my life coaching course, I moved into more general life coaching. And this is where, to be honest, I struggled the most with my messaging, okay? And what I found is I had quite high conversion rates in my previous business. Beautiful, no worries. I had quite high conversion rates in my business when I was doing business coaching. But when I moved to general life coaching, I struggled with conversion rates, and I struggled with bringing people in to saying yes. And I can clearly see now that it came down to my messaging. And this is what I see a lot with coaches who are life coaches, mindset coaches, people that are working with mums, those kinds of things where it's quite general, that the messaging isn't quite clear enough and isn't direct enough. And that's exactly my experience. So people aren't really sure why they should work with you. So if your messaging is like, I'm a coach, I can help you live your dream life, do your be the best version of you, that kind of thing, your messaging there is assuming that people know that they want a coach. And my experience is with that more coaching that's straight to, what's not B2B, but direct to the consumer. They don't always know that they need a coach or that coaching is the solution for them. They know that they've got a problem, right? They know that they've got a problem, whether it's that, hey, Sam, whether their problem is that they can't lose weight, or they're always yelling at their kids and life just seems to be passing by and they're just losing themselves more and more every day. Their problem might be that they've never got money in their bank account. No matter how much money seems to come in, there always seems to be money gone. Like, these are the real problems that clients are facing. And what I see with people's messaging is they're not honing in enough on that problem and how they solve it. So when I was doing my more general coaching, that's exactly what I was doing. I had gone from really having a clear thing that I helped people with to becoming more general. And this is why everyone, when you're starting a business, people are going to tell you, get into the head of your ideal client, really define a clear and narrow niche, and really clearly know which problem you're helping people solve. Because this is the thing as coaches, we can help people solve lots of different problems, right? But when we're trying to convey that through our content and we become general, people don't connect with it as much. So what I really recommend is getting into the head of your client and picking one problem. Once people come on board and you're working with them, it's just started raining. Once people come on board and you've started working with them, they do start to see that there's these other problem areas that you will help them work with. But most people are hiring because of one pressing problem that they need to resolve in their life. Does that make sense, guys? I would love to hear if that sort of resonates with you and that's the way that you've seen things happen for you in your business. People aren't wanting a coach. They're wanting a problem in their life solved. That's the missing piece I see in so many coaches' messaging, is that they message up around how their coaching program works and how many months you work together and how many calls are involved, and that they generally help with this kind of thing. But people just want to know that they can get the solution to their problem, right? That is, I think, the biggest piece with your messaging is talking to the problem that you help your people solve and the kind of problem that they're actually lying awake at night thinking about. And you don't have to write your content like, you've got this problem, let me solve it. But really, once you understand that, it starts to come through in your messaging, because you can go all these different angles that you know is what that person's struggling with. So for example, like losing weight, I think is a good example. Sometimes as coaches, we know, and I had a catch up with one of my clients in person yesterday. We had such a great chat. Like, sometimes we know as coaches, we're so much further on that, like, a lot of people's goals aren't about the goal, right? It's about the feeling that sits underneath it. So we know that everyone wants to achieve a goal because of a feeling underneath it. So most people want to lose weight because they want to feel loved, or they want to feel, energetic and vibrant and all these things. Most people, my people, they have an external goal. They want, certain dollars and metrics and success in their business because they want to feel successful or free or impactful as coaches. So all those sorts of things. What I see sometimes, and what I fell into the trap of, was once we are so much further ahead in our client's journey, we can see that what they really want is the feeling, but our clients can't see that yet. They're like, no, if I just lose 5 kilos, my life will be better, right? That's the problem that they actually really, really want solved. And on the journey of coaching, they come to realize then that actually, like, yes, they did want to lose those 5 kilos. I'm just making that up as an example. But what they actually really wanted was to feel free in their life, to feel loved, to feel like they are enough, to feel like, overflowing with self-worth. And the external thing that they thought that was to do with was their weight. And as they start to lose weight and really go on that journey, they come to realize that actually there was all this inner work that was the thing that was missing, and that's helped them achieve their goal. Does that make sense? Do you guys resonate with that? Okay, Lee's saying that makes sense. I used to say I'm a productivity architect who helps people design a life they love living, and got crickets, right? Okay, that's good. And yeah, so you sound like you've been on the similar journey. Now I say I'm a productivity architect who helps entrepreneurs and business professionals design a 90-day strategy for their goals with confidence. And I'm getting more requests for clarity calls, right? Because to me, that is so much more specific. I'm like, cool, you're going to help me like nail my goals with confidence in the next 90 days in my business, right? So straight away, it's like, I'm a business owner. I get it. You're going to help me with my 90-day goals. I'm going to feel really confident and clear going for those goals, versus a life they love living Like, to me, as I read that, I'm like, is that for entrepreneurs? Is that for mums? Is that for busy professionals? Like, do you know what I mean? So I'm glad that you've had that experience to really see that, right? What I see, and maybe you might have had this experience too, Lee, is we know we can help people with a whole bunch of different problems. And so sometimes we're scared to pick one and go for one, or we're like, I just want to help people generally, like, do all these different things, and I can, so I don't want to pick a niche, right? And this is so perfect in this example, is once you niche down, people are like, oh, you're the person for me, right? I want to like hit my goals with confidence in the next 90 days, and I'm an entrepreneur, so I'm going to speak to someone who really understands productivity and driving efficiency and helping me get that done, right? So that is such a good example, because here's what I see a lot, and everyone is on their own journey. Like, I've been there, guys. So this is not, I don't want this to be a criticism or anything like that, but I see a lot of those more general statements. So like what Lee said there, where design a life they love living, right? No one's, my experience and what I've sort of seen, even in my own journey, like with myself and hiring coaches and, you know, going on my own personal development journey, I never lay up at night thinking I just want to live a life that I love, right? I'm like, far out. I was nearly swore then. I can't swear, the kids aren't around. But I used to think, like, far out. How the hell do I stop working in this job that I hate, that's killing me, like killing me from the inside? I was thinking, how do I stop being so anxious, right? All of those things together help me, of course, live like the dream life that I'm living now. But I was never lying up awake and going like, I need to like work with a coach to help me live my dream life, right? I was like, I need someone to help me like get over this anxiety, figure out what I actually want to do with my life, stop working in a job that I hate, like all of those sorts of things. They're really tangible. And, you know, a lot of marketing experience would say that, like, when someone's got a problem in like health, relationship, career, money, those sorts of things, they're willing to pay money for that. Whereas I think a lot of people think like, oh, designing my dream life, like, yeah, I can kind of get there myself somehow. It's not like a pressing problem, okay? So that's the missing piece I see in a lot of people's messaging, okay? And it's been my experience too. Lee's saying, yes, right on. That's been her experience as well. So if you don't know like what exactly it is that your clients are struggling with, or what it is that's keeping them up at night, or what the problem is that they really want solved, you can go and do market research with them. I see people doing this quite a lot. It's like, put out like a request to like in your community to have like 5 calls with people for market research, and in return, you know, you might book an hour call and you might do half an hour of market research and half an hour of coaching or goal setting or something like that. Because once you get in people's head and people feel like, oh my God, like you'll sometimes see people say it to me, and I'm sure people say it to you in your community too. Like, oh my God, were you in my head today? Or like, that's exactly what I've been thinking the last few weeks. Like, when you're in someone's head like that and you demonstrate how much you understand the problem and how clearly you can work with them to solve that problem, it's a no-brainer for them to come through. And that's what I found when I went from like 7 no discovery calls in a row, like sometime last year when I was doing my general coaching, to now 70% conversion rate. And I have to admit, most of the people that don't convert is because they didn't look at my prices beforehand and they've realized they can't make it work in their budget. So that's like a massive change, where most of my people are already a yes before they book their discovery call. And that's exactly the experience I had with the coach that I've just recently hired. Like, I was already a yes, like the discovery call was just ticking the box. A lot of my people come onto the call, they have specific questions or they want to understand more about how it works, but the content and the way I'm showing up and my messaging means that they already know that I'm the person they want to work with before the call. That's exactly the kind of messaging you want to have with your people. So that's exactly how they feel, right? So Sam's saying, so true. Yeah, so exactly right. So true. No one, and I think you're probably saying this when like no one's up at night going like, how do I live my best life? Like no one really is worrying. They're like, oh my God, like how come my salary increased by $10,000 this year and I still have no money? Like what the hell is going on? Like how are we going to pay next week's bill? Or, oh my God, it's another year, it's my birthday next month and I'm still doing the same thing I was doing 5 years ago. Like what the fuck's happening? Like that's the kind of thing people are actually like fretting about, and really it's like the drive to change is quite powerful. Whereas I feel like the drive to change, to move towards your dream life, it feels so lofty and it feels like something that's really big. It's not something they want to solve right now. And then once they go on that personal development journey, they start to see, oh yeah, like by doing this and taking this step and doing this inner work and things outside of me is starting to change and I'm really changing on the inside, then they naturally start to be creating their dream life and living their best life and being the best version of themselves. Like that naturally happens. But I feel like until people are such a long way into their personal development journey, they're not thinking like that. So our job is to break it down to be non-coachy, right? I sometimes still speak a bit in coachy language because my audience are coaches, okay? But when I was not working directly with coaches, I was like, how do I explain this for people who have never worked with a coach before, who don't follow, I don't know, Marie Forleo and the Life Coach School and all of that, people that just aren't understanding what living your dream life means and who don't know what alignment is and don't know what living your truth is. Like if we're explaining ourselves to people and we're often going to be their first coach, you know, in that way, they often don't get exactly what it is that we do. And that's where this struggle sort of comes through, where like, I know that you're an amazing coach and you will help these people, but it's the messaging beforehand so that they understand like, oh, cool. Like I never realized I could work with a coach to help me, you know, step into the next career that I want and stop like, you know, working this job that I hate. Never thought of that before, but she seems to really get it. She seems to have gone on that journey herself. She's in my head. She's talking about the dull grey commute on the bus into the city every day and just like looking out the window wishing I was somewhere else. Like she gets exactly what I'm experiencing now, and she also demonstrates the answer to that. Does that make sense, guys? That's like the key part to messaging that I think a lot of newbie coaches, and you know, myself as when I was a newbie coach too, that's the part that I think a lot of coaching schools don't help people to kind of pull that through and really nail that. So that's where this struggle comes through. But once you're nailing that, I promise you, people are just drawn towards you. Like they're drawn to booking like, you know, a complimentary discovery call, or if you've got like a free sort of funnel, you know, coaching session that then moves them into a discovery call later. People are drawn towards them because they're like, I like this girl. She gets exactly where I'm at. She's gone through the change. She has all these testimonials of people that have gone through a similar change. Like I need to find out more about this. So yes, okay, cool. So some comments have come true. Some comments say true. Some comments have come through. Friday. Thank you for this. Definitely need to tweak my message. It makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So you guys get it, right? You guys know that. And just think about yourself. Sometimes I think about myself and like what helps me make decisions with people, right? So like what makes you want to say yes to someone else and just scroll past something else? Like it's so interesting to analyze yourself and like take that step back and then bring that information into what you're doing. But absolutely, the key to converting through your content is your messaging. And messaging comes from really getting in the head, I believe, of your ideal client, knowing what the problem is that they're struggling with, being able to demonstrate how you solve that problem, and speaking to them in that language that they're thinking, that language that they're thinking about, like, fuck, this fucking sucks, you know, whatever it is that they're thinking and that they want to change in their life. If only I had this, then I would have that. That's what so many people are thinking. That's the kind of language and the way you want to tap into your people through your content and draw them towards you. And that, I think, is a massive change, right? That's where you sort of aren't on the chase anymore and people are coming towards you. It's a massive shift, and it just makes your coaching business so much easier. When you're in the heads of your people, everything changes. So I wanted to share that with you today because, yeah, I've been on a few people's websites and things like that, not anyone in this group, just more generally. And I can see that that's often the thing that's missing, and it turns something from being like information to being compelling, right? And that's what we want, is to compel people to take action. Am I perfect at it? Absolutely not. There is always more to go, but that's been a big change for me in terms of seeing, you know, the results in my business change and the way that people react to my posts change by being more emotional, more compelling, more, you know, really clear in my messaging. So do you guys have any questions? I know there's a couple of you on. Let me make sure I just covered everything on my notes. Yes, I did. Now's a great chance to type in any questions if you've got them. Otherwise, I'm going to love you and leave you. I've got some clients this afternoon. What are you guys doing? Lee, are you in Australia or are you overseas? I think you might be in the US. It's probably late at night for you. I'm practicing keeping these lives a lot shorter at the moment, so I'm doing a good job, I think. I hope that was really helpful. I'll just give it one more second and see if any questions come through. But messaging, really getting to your messaging and showing people that you understand where they're at, it's just a game changer. So it seems like you are in the US. Beautiful, awesome. So it must be still Thursday night for you, I would imagine. Getting that messaging down. And this is the thing, okay, I spend a lot of time usually in the first month with my clients, like doing all of this stuff, the client, you know, clarity on the client and the niche and their, you know, what they're really struggling with and what the exact problem that you help people solve and what is your messaging and what are the things that you're going to talk about in your content. And I know so many people want to skim over it, and I'm the same. Like, you're like, no, I've done this. Like, let me go and do the real stuff. Like, let me go and do the real coaching work. But like, the clarity on this, in my experience, and I've seen it with many other people, with myself as well, spending more time here, really doing this, investing some time into doing some market research calls, you know, making notes, doing surveys, whatever it is that you want to do to gather information, like gather the words of your people. It's like the best investment to like really catapult your business forward. So I know sometimes people are like, no, I don't want to do that. I've done this before. I've done it a million times. Let me get on with doing like the real stuff. Like, understanding your clients as a coach is like the biggest piece of the puzzle. Like, once you've got that down, everything is so much easier. All your content is so much easier. Your messaging so much easier. Your discovery calls become so much easier in your sales kind of process, because people already know that you're the person for them. So it's not something to skim over, even though your brain's going to go like, no, let me go do the real work. Like, this is the real work. I'm in the US, got a client today. Oh, beautiful, Sam. That's amazing. Congratulations. It's almost 5 p.m. ready for the trick-or-treaters. Oh, yes, we had that last night. I bought a bag of chocolates. We're in Australia, so it's not as big. And no kids came to the door. So I've got a bag of chocolates. I've got a bag of chocolates to eat later. This is great to consider for my landing page. Yes, landing pages, like, you know, those pieces where, you know, there's big swathes of copy, like your website, landing pages, all those sorts of things. It's really crucial. So there's a postman at the door. So yes, I'm so glad that's helpful. I'm going to love you and leave you guys there. It seems like there's no specific questions. So I would love to, see what comes through from you guys. If you are working on your messaging, feel free always to get feedback in the group, post some of your stuff in the group, what you're working on, get feedback, because some of your ideal clients could very well be in this group too. So can't wait to see what you're doing. I will chat with you all very soon, and enjoy the trick-or-treaters, enjoy Friday, and I'll chat to you all very soon. Bye.